It's been a truly chilling summer of fear, thanks to Fear Street. Now you've had a chance to watch all 3 films, let's have a look at some of the most searched questions about the trilogy. No need to be afraid of stumbling upon the Shadyside Curse yourselves. Fear Street is absolutely not based on a true story. The films are adapted from a teenage horror fiction series by R.L. Stine, the bulk of which were released throughout the 90s. In fact, watch the opening scene carefully and you can see books by Robert Lawrence on display with titles taken directly from the book series. Now, the books pop up a few times in the series, like when Heather says one of the titles is her favourite.
Fantastic choice. I love this one.
Or right at the end of the last film, when Dina uses Fear Street books taped to her body as a shield against a knife. If you recognise the author's name, it's for a good reason. R.L. Stine also wrote the hugely popular Goosebumps series. The characters in Fear Street were a little older than those in Goosebumps, and the deaths in the series a lot gorier. Like the films, familiar faces would often pop up in different stories. The books regularly hit the bestseller list over the years, selling millions of copies around the world. After a brief hiatus, Stine revived the book series in 2014. Director Lee Janiak told Den of Geek that rather than taking on specific plot points from the books in the series, they aim to stay true to the spirit of the books. The time jumping is reminiscent of the Fear Street saga, a trilogy within the series which was also told across different times and generations. The first film is set in the 90s because that's when the books were initially released, but also because they could make a ton of references to 90s slasher films, like the spooky phone calls and skull masks, reminiscent of classic 90s horror Scream. So who stars in Fear Street? You might recognise central character Dina, played by Kiana Madeira from Netflix's Trinkets. Olivia Scott Welch, who's appeared in Panic and Unbelievable, plays Sam. Benjamin Christopher Flores Jr., aka rapper Lil Peanut, plays Josh. Fear Street Part 1's comic relief Simon is played by Fred Hetchinger, who you can also see in The Woman in the Window, and Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. Julia Rewald makes her feature film debut as Kate. Sadie Sink of Stranger Things fame and Emily Rudd from Electric Dreams play the Berman sisters, with Community and Love star Gillian Jacobs playing the older Ziggy Berman. And of course, Maya Hawke, also of Stranger Things, opens the trilogy with her Drew Barrymore in Scream moment at the beginning of the first film. Most of Fear Street was filmed in and around Atlanta, Georgia. The mall where everything kicks off is at Decatur's North DeKalb Mall, which has become a hotspot for filmmakers as most of the shops inside have closed. There's a big horror connection in one of the locations for Fear Street Part 2, 1978. Camp Daniel Morgan in Hard Labor Creek State Park is not only known as one of Georgia's most haunted camps, it was also used for Camp Crystal Lake in Friday the 13th 6, Jason Lives. So if you were wondering why it looked hauntingly familiar, there's your answer. Who is Sarah Fear? Throughout Fear Street 1 and 2, we believe Sarah Fear is the witch at the heart of the curse, who cut off her hand and made a deal with the devil. But in Part 3, we learn she was framed, which leaves us with another question. Who is the bad guy in Fear Street? Spoilers ahead here, but you'll know the answer to this one already if you've watched all 3 films. After spending most of the plot believing Sarah Fear is behind the Shadyside Curse, Dina and her friends eventually find out it's actually the Good family behind the bloody murders in the town. Their ancestor, Solomon Good, made a deal with the devil to ensure Sunnyside stayed affluent and peaceful. But that deal comes at a high cost.
Good gives a name to the devil.
Ryan Torres.
The devil takes over that person. Then, that person kills and murders. And the devil feeds on this blood of dead Shadysiders.
Sarah Fear, it turns out, discovered what Good had done, losing her hand while trying to escape. He eventually frames her as a witch, and Sarah, wanting to save her secret lover Hannah, makes a fake confession before being hanged. Dina sees all this when she reunites Sarah's severed hand with her body and discovers the truth.
Good is evil.
Who dies in Fear Street? Spoiler alert, a lot of people die. This is a horror slasher series after all. In Fear Street 1, we say goodbye to Heather, Peter, Nurse Betty, Kate, and Simon. Technically, Sam also dies before being resuscitated by Dina. In Part 2, possessed camp killer Tommy kills a whole host of the kids staying at the camp.
Sir Tommy?
including Stoner Arnie and his girlfriend Alice, as well as camp counselors Joan and Gary. Cindy and Ziggy are also attacked by formerly possessed killers. Only Ziggy survives after being resuscitated by Nick. Part 3 reveals that many of the town's children were killed by the possessed pastor. The blame was pinned on Sarah Fear, who set a curse on the Good family before her death.
I will never let you go.
In the final showdown at the Shadyside Mall, Sheriff Nick Good is brought down, bringing the curse to an end. So what was your favourite part of the Fear Street trilogy? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more on your favourite Netflix films.